as a tribute to Keith Maddox as his friends and family gathered next door at Cowtown Coliseum to celebrate a life well lived. Here are some memories shared by some of his longtime friends.
Well, I met Keith 15 years ago on the Rancheros Visitadores ride in California, and you know, we just hit it off. We just became fast friends, Keith and I. I don't know how to describe how quickly we developed such a close relationship, but it just happened overnight, and kind of been inseparable ever since. And so, you know, today's just wonderful to celebrate his beautiful life and all the things that he stood for and all the people that he touched. And I just see him rolling in, and it's hard not to be emotional seeing all of the people that he loved coming to pay tribute and honor to him today. It's wonderful. Keith left a tremendous legacy in 3 beautiful children that are wonderful, productive adults. He left a legacy of an absolute love for the sport of rodeo. He was my team roping partner. I'm a header, he was a heeler. I have the buckle I have on. He and I won right in this Coliseum. And so he leaves that, along with his entire career was in the Western apparel industry, and Keith built American Hat Company into the company that makes the finest cowboy hats money can buy. And certainly professionally, he leaves that legacy. But I think his beautiful family would be his number one legacy.
Well, my relationship with Keith Maddox goes a long ways. I actually put him in the hat business. And what I mean by that is I was Stetson Resistol rep years ago, and he told me he wanted to go in the hat business and open up a store. And anyway, kind of cut the story short, he's where he's at today. Keith bought American Hats out of bankruptcy, and there were several people that tried that prior to him. Keith was the only person that made it work. And it was all because of his personality, his smile, his attitude towards life, which was beyond anybody I've ever seen. I got to spend like an hour and a half with Keith prior to his death on Saturday night. He passed away on Monday, and we had a couple of shots of tequila, which was his favorite drink, and we talked about old times and, you know, things that we've done, things that we failed at, things that we accomplished. The best way for me to describe Keith Maddox is like John Wayne was an idol of myself and many other people in the world. But Keith took life by the horns, and he left life by the horns. And I remember that night we were sitting there, and his daughters walked up, and they had tears rolling down their cheeks. And he had morphine coming in one side and oxygen in his nose, and he looked at him and he said, "Baby, it's just a thing."
Okay, you go with it.
So what I mean by John Wayne and being tough is the fact that I never got to meet John Wayne.
Yeah, we're gonna go right
But I've always heard about how great a cowboy, how great a person he was, and I'm sure he was. But Keith Maddox died with the best way that I could describe it. Like, he faced death, and he said, "You know what? I'm not scared of death. I'm okay with that," which was the way he lived his life, and everything that he did. He never backed up, and I'm proud. Even though he was a competitor of mine, he owned American Hats, and I'm the president of Resistol and Stetson Hats. We were still best friends, no matter what. We always called each other. We never talked about business, but we always called each other and talked. Actually, about 2 weeks before all this, before he passed away, we talked on the phone, and he said he was going to Fort Worth. They were going to try an experimental drug on him. He said, "I'll see you on the ride." And that was 2 weeks ago or a week ago that we just finished the ride, which was Texas, Tejas Vaqueros ride here in Texas, in Kerrville, Texas. And he said, I'll see you there. And anyway, I left that weekend to go to a rope in Hamilton, Texas, and I heard he was in hospice. So I called him, I texted him, and I knew that he or Susan One would get the text. And Brian Beavers actually called me and said, hey, because I told Keith, I said, I'll see you on Monday. And he said, so Brian Beavers called me and said, hey, if you really want to talk to Keith and visit with him, you need to get here before Monday. So I said, well, is he coherent? Because I don't want to see him if he's not. And he said, hold on. So he hands Keith the phone. And I talked to Keith, and I told him, I said, I'll be there tonight. Sorry. That's when we talked about old times and the screw-ups that we made in life and the good things we made in life. But, I'm sorry to ramble on, but competitor, a great man. I hope that I'm half the person that he is when it comes my time to face the end of life like he did. I love you, Keith Maddox.
It goes back many, many years, and I remember that I had snuck in behind the chutes at the St. Paul, Oregon Rodeo to see this big bad bull named Black Smoke. There was a young kid on the back of the chutes, and Dwight Maddox was Keith's father, and he had drawn that bull. And I thought how cool it was to have a daddy that was a bull rider. His dad was one of the good old top bull riders back then. So a few years went by, and then we met up around the rodeo game, and he loved rodeo and competed, and that's when we met, and we've been buddies ever since then. You know, and it's a big loss to our Western culture and heritage, because he's done a lot for the West, and through his American Hat Company, he's really made some big contributions to a lot of people who needed help.
Well, 25 years ago, probably is when we first met. Rodeo and roping and stuff like that. And over the years, as he started in the hat business, we all called it a dog and pony show, because we'd go to the trade shows and he would set up his hats, and across the street I would set up my trailer business. We own Elite Trailers in Oklahoma City. So we really got to be close there. And business-wise, I learned more from Keith than anybody else, because he was a good businessman and positive. My life has been blessed with him, such a positive attitude, and so I always try to stay positive because of that. And he gave me the nickname Choctaw. For some reason, I have no idea. So we would share tequila together, and he'd call me Choctaw. And through him, I met a lot of really, really great people. I was with him Sunday before he passed away, all day long, and we got him up out of bed. And Brian Beavers, myself, and Gary LeFew, we all had a toast to Don Julio 42. So I took a picture of that, and I'll keep that forever. So he'll be a friend and a businessman that's missed. I think because he was so honest and true, and would help anybody. I mean, he would give you advice. He may not even know you, but he'd give you advice. So that's the most positive thing that Keith had going. He was honest and true.